Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the Grey. Today we have a getting started video for you, focusing on the Skaven this time, and today we're going to be looking in particular, getting started with a force of the monster makers themselves, Clan Moulder. So this is a Skaven sub-faction, sort of. Skaven are weird in how they work. They're not true sub-factions, but all their different clans within the army, you get different rules based on having models in the army that are from that clan. And you can have pure clan armies so long as every model in that clan is either from that clan or master clan models. So we're going to be focused on making an army that can be pure Skaven Moulder, so this means we're only going to use Moulder units or master clan units. So let's talk a little bit about what exactly these types of Skaven are. For starters, these are the Beastmaster Skaven. The idea is to have these massive war beasts the Skaven have created in vats of who knows what, and push them into battle and go rip your opponents to shreds. Meanwhile, you've got these Skaven Beastmasters behind, cracking whips and making them do even more dangerous and deadly things to your opponent's forces. This is a relatively elite Skaven army. They're not going to be quite as plentiful as other things, though there are ways to get quite a few models on the table. It's definitely not the way you're probably wanting to play them. There are some new upgrades that have become available for this particular type of Skaven in the Broken Realms Kragnos book, which gives you additional Clan Moulder mutations you can add to either your Hell Pit Abominations or your units of Rat Ogres instead of the generic sort of add wounds rule that you have inside the Skaven Battle Tome. As you would think though, with all these monsters getting all these buffs, it is a very combat focused sub-allegiance thing that we have here for the Skaven, and so everything here is going to be very combat focused, which you can use to your own advantage. It can be really cool to play and just have a ton of fun with. But that's enough of what the standard sort of faction is. Let's get looking into how we can get started with this particular sub-faction and build a force around it. So for starters, you're going to want to pick up a Master Moulder. This is your only Skaven hero that is from Clan Moulder. It's a pretty cool sculpt of a model in all honesty, though it is potentially metal or fine cast, so it is going to show its age in that particular way, but it's a great model. So his little thing is he's got 5 wounds, 6 move, 5 up save and bravery 6, pretty low like all Skaven, but he's got also a 3-inch range melee attack with his Warpstone tipped lash, which is pretty nice, and a Things Catcher as well for his other attack. He's also got the ability of Master Moulder, so in your hero phase you can prick a friendly Clan's Moulder pack model within 3-inch and heal D3 wounds, which is nice. You can also add 1 to hit rolls for melee weapons hold within 12-inch of him with this ability, in addition double the bravery characteristic of them as well. He's then got the Unleash More War Beasts commander trait, where he can bring back units that are destroyed during the battlefield, so pretty cool. He gives some solid buffs out to the rest of your force. The other box set I recommend going and picking up is a Rat Ogres and Giant Rats box set. This gives you 3 Packmasters, which is a full unit of Packmasters. It does only give you 6 Giant Rats, though you're going to get plenty of Giant Rats around in your other kits that you can use to build up those units, and a unit of 2 Rat Ogres, which is the unit size you need. This box set will also give you access to the Warpfire guns the Rat Ogres can take. So this box does contain 3 different units here for you. First of all, let's talk about the Giant Rats. Giant Rats are, for lack of a better term, your weakest little pack beast. They've got 1 attack, 4 to hit, 5 to wound, and no rend and damage 1, though they do get some extra range on their attacks when they have more models, so you can get a lot of these into combat even if they are only doing a small amount of damage. They do have bravery 3 as well. But they're nice and cheap at 10 models for 60 points, they're great for objectives. Your Rat Ogres are your heavy hitting troops. 4 wounds apiece, 6-inch move, 5 up save and bravery 5, which is generally Skaven's quite big letdown, is their low bravery, but that is, you know, par for the course with Skaven. They have the ability to take a Warpfire gun for 1 in every 2 models, which is 5 to hit, 3 to wound, rend 1, damage D3, and this is in addition to all their other combat profile, which is 4 attacks at 4s, 3s, rend 1, damage 2. So nice. They also, when they roll a 6 to hit, they inflict 2 wound rolls onto the opponent, instead of 1. So some nice damage output from Rat Ogres there. Packmasters are the last unit we get inside this box set, and their combat really isn't what we're taking them for. They get the ability to add +1 to hit and double the bravery, much like the Master Moulder does as well. However, this unit isn't a hero, so they're just a unit of 3 Packmasters with 6 wounds and a 6 up save, so they're just there to give some additional bonuses to hit around to your forces in the army. meaning you can keep your Master Moulder nice and safe. Generally stick him near those giant rats so that he's got the best lookout sir he can get. With that all said though, let's look at how we can expand this force past these couple of boxes. And so, how can we expand? Well, for starters, let's look at the big monster himself, the Hell Pit Abomination. The Hell Pit Abomination is the biggest piece you're going to get in a Clan Moulder army. He's an absolute beast of a monster. 6 attacks, 3s and 3s. Rend does depend on what damage he's taken, though it is Rend 3 at the top bracket, which is really, really nice, especially when it's damage 2 base. The Flailing Fist, he gets 6 attacks when he's at full health, 3 3s, Rend 1, damage 3. And the Avalanche of Flesh is an attack where he gets to roll a number of dice equal to the number of models within range of him and do some mortal wounds. He's got the ability to heal innately, he subtracts from your opponent's bravery, he ignores the effects of spells, and he can even get back up when he dies. He, all in all, is just a really great monster. We've then got the Rat Swarms. Now these really are not much. They're just one of the other unit options you do have for your Moulder. They got 5 attacks, 5s and 5s, no rend, damage 1, and they do return a slain model to the unit every turn. So they can keep into the fight. If your opponent's got to deal with them, he's actually got to deal with them. So they've got some use. They're also relatively cheap and can just be thrown around the board as extra bodies on the table. What's interesting, and some might not realise, is that Storm Fiends actually do have the Moulder keyword, so they can be brought into a Moulder force. You've got a ton of different weapon options on your Storm Fiends, but I really do think that their little digging tools are some of the best things you can do in Moulder, as it allows you to get some deep strike into the army where you otherwise might not have it. Now, the one thing they don't have is they are not a pack beast unit, so they can't get any of the bonuses +1 to hit and any of that from your pack master and stuff, but they are a good enough unit. They just function on their own, and they're a great piece just to bring into your Moulder force without breaking that allegiance. They give you some range firepower, some really heavy combat potential as well, and the ability to deep strike all in one unit, so it fills a lot of gaps. Lastly, the Grey Seer and really all the Master Clan units are things you can worth considering bringing into your Clan Moulder force. They're not going to break your allegiance, they're going to give you access to wizards, and in time, they're going to give you some good combat monsters as well, in addition to your Hell Pit. So, the Vermin Lords and the Grey Seer and the Screaming Bell as well, making you immune to battle shock, they are all worthwhile pieces looking to bring into your force of Skaven. Let's not forget that most of those models mentioned are also dual casters at a pretty decent cost. But let's talk about all of this we've now talked about again, and we'll put it into a little army list that we can show off and sort of see how we can start getting this all to work. And so here we have a little Skaven army list for Clan Moulder we've put together that you can use. This is going to come just shy of 1,000 points, so there's a good chance you're going to get a Triumph in, and all of them can be quite useful for a Moulder army. To start off with, we're going to bring in a Grey Seer, and it's going to be our general. I just find the command traits on the Grey Seer are much better than those on the Master Moulder. Supreme Manipulator is really cool because when you've got Master Clan units, anytime you spend a command point, you can roll a dice on a 5+, you get it back. Supreme Manipulator here allows you to re-roll that dice. So, really cool. It's just going to help you get more command points out there. The spell we've gone for on the Grey Seer is Death Frenzy. This allows your units to attack when they die, so it's just a really cool spell. The Master Moulder is going to have our artifact though, and he's going to have the Rabid Crown, which is by far the best Moulder artifact there is. A unit's wholly within 13 inch of him can reroll wound rolls. This is amazing, especially when you consider we're going to have a unit of Rat Ogres, 6 of them in fact, as our main hitting body. This is going to be one of our big punchy units, and the Master Moulder is going to stick around this unit. What their insanely rabid rule does for them is it does give them some extra combat potential. So insanely rabid I should say, gives them 6 attacks instead of their 4. This is sort of, by statistical means, we're going to get at least 1 6 in here, giving us an extra hit roll, and you can reroll charge rolls for the Rat Ogre unit. Though there's definitely some shout for some of the other upgrades in there. I do find the Toughened Sinews really cool on them as well, giving them a wounds characteristic of 6 instead of 4, and a save of 4 instead of 5. I really do think that's got some potential for a nice big hefty unit of Rat Ogres that's going to hold your line. Maybe not in your initial force, but definitely when you start looking at this force expanding, you might want to put that on your big unit of Rat Ogres, bring in another Hell Pit, and change the fighting units over to your Hell Pits rather than this unit of 6 Rat Ogres here. There's also the option to give your Rat Ogres a movement of 8 and allow them to heal a little bit better with the accelerated metabolism ability. For me, the Hell Pit ones are pretty cool, but I do think the Rat Ogre ones are just far superior and really help that unit shine on the table. 2 units of 10 giant rats. These are going to be our objective holders and just go around the table collecting objectives, collecting points, while our other units that are going to hit hard like the rat ogres and the hell pit go and do the damage. 2 units of 3 packmasters in here. They're going to stick around our other units. They're going to also provide some sort of contingency for our units as well, meaning we've got the master molder and these 2 units of 3 packmasters. They're all going to provide their buffs to the units, giving +1 to hit. What's cool about this is it means we've got probably an extra unit than what we really need for the damage dealers, meaning we can sort of have some contingency in case we lose one of them. The Behemoth Hellpit Abomination, while we will not take it, is just such an amazing piece. The fact we can fit it in at 1,000 points is awesome and just rounds out our army list nicely with a great looking centerpiece and monster for the force. But I'd really love to hear from you. What do you think of all the new Skaven upgrades that came out in Broken Realms Kragnos? What do you think of Clan Moulder? Have you thought about running this potentially? I played against one of these armies in SAGT and it was a ton of fun to play against, so I'd love to hear your thoughts on it in the comments below. Well, thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please don't forget to go like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, if you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our little community here at Sinful Gaming, you can do so by following the link in the description of the video to our Discord server. And while you're at it on YouTube, why not go check out my featured channel section where there's a bunch of other fantastic Warhammer Age of Sigmar content creators putting out a bunch of fantastic content from everything: battle reports, painting videos, lore videos, tactical videos, and more besides that as well. Lastly, we'd like to give a shout out to everyone who helps support the channel on Patreon and YouTube members. Thank you to our Patreons Christian Weir, James Soren, Chaos Spawn, AJC, Kenny Lyle, Alder and Shot First, James Crowder, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, Tim Newman, The Rising Ape, Cure Dynamic, Argu, and Anthony B. And thank you to our YouTube members, Green Roots Gaming, Fire Titan, Steve T, The Real Zeop, and Chris Wallace. Thank you all for helping support the channel like you do. It means the absolute world to us. And if you'd like to help support the channel like they do, you can do so by following the link in the description to either Patreon or YouTube members. Once again, everyone, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.